Thank you. Mamai Flabo. Come on, guys. Mamai Flabo. Very good. This evening, I think even my niece is feeling the love here, you know. Because at first, I came here like a Janjo, and suddenly it's telling me that something is wrong with the Labour Party. So it's already starting to give way. But we'll hold on because we have a lot of work to do. You understand? Brothers and sisters of the United Workers' Party, good evening. And I have a special message today, mostly for the young people in our midst. Many moons ago, I was exactly where you are today. Meaning that as early as 9 years old, I gave my first speech in Grosley on Dauphin Street for the United Workers' Party. I was a fearless soldier then, and I am an even fearless soldier today. And as we advocated for our party, because in Grosley we only had 4 young boys, myself, Tom T. George, and Elise I'm talking about there, and one called Diddy Boy, which is Ricardo, alongside a whole bunch of persons who were labor. But we were the only 4 young fellas, and we held the mantle up for the United Workers' Party. And in those days, Grosley was a predominantly SLP constituency. Folks, and to you young people, there's going to be challenges ahead. I want to remind you guys there's going to be plenty of challenges ahead. You're going to find yourself sometimes when you feel that this is too much for me. But I'm asking you to stay the course, because we are depending on you and on your shoulders tomorrow to be able to take this United Workers' Party forward. I want to say to you, in those days, we had a brilliant and very vibrant youth arm, of which I was a part of. And in 1979, as the St. Lucia Labour Party came through, throwing bottles and stones and disrupting meetings around this country, I'm telling you, they're a violent party. They've been a violent party. So don't buy what you see today. What you see today is the epitome of nastiness and violence, which is what the St. Lucia Labour Party have always been about. And there I stood as a teenager with my flabo right outside of Loloy, who is Spider's mother-in-law. A bunch of us stood there, and I stood with my flabo. Then they took this plywood placard and smashed it in my face. Today, I still bear the scars right here on my face from that period of 1979 as a young kid. But guess what? It reminds me of why we need to continually fight St. Lucia Labour Party. So every day, I look in the mirror and I see the scar on the side of my face. I remember that I have my badge. And I accept my badge, but it's a badge I'm proud of, and I know that I did what was right, which was to stand to them in those days. I'm saying to you, the time is coming when we have to turn over the leadership of this party to a new generation, but not before Alan Shastney finishes work. And when he has done what he has to do for this country, you better be ready, because it will be your turn to be able to do what you have to do for your party. I remember as a young man, and in 1982, I'm giving you the history because it's important that you as young people understand that history. So as you do that fight, you understand there were those before you that did exactly what you did. And in 1982, Sir John said, "You are going to be the campaign manager for Peter Phillip." I did not know what that is. Edna is there. She can remember that. Miss Edna, she's a stalwart. Give her a big hand, please, ladies and gentlemen. She's a stalwart. She can remember those days. And at 17, you're going to be a campaign manager. Boy, I didn't sleep that night because I was wondering, how will we do this thing? But we soon were able to get it together. And then we identify every single Labour friends we had in every single homes who their parents had voted for Labour for all those years but had gotten nothing in return for it. We targeted our friends. We brought them on board. And by the end of that election, United Workers' Party had won that election in Grosley for the very first time. And this was youth at work, power of young people, what we could do to be able to make that change, bring that change about. And I remember fondly Janine Giraudy's father, Henry Giraudy. The first time we ever was in an executive meeting, they didn't call it executive meeting in those days, they call it the central executive of our party. And he said to us, I'm bringing you guys in to listen to how we deliberate, how we discuss things for the party. But you must not say a word. Just sit down and observe. And we walked in and we listened. And this was our first understanding that way before I ever understood what Mr. Giraudy meant, he was already thinking of the youth one day becoming leaders in our party. And today I stand proudly before you as the chairman of the United Workers' Party. A very same position that he held back then. I did not understand it. But it took me years for it to unravel, for it to happen. And yes, 1979, we lost that election. My mom, I remember having to have us all go under the bed because all we heard was bottles and stones being pelted at us. What hooligans do these things to fellow St. Lucians? That's the St. Lucia Labour Party. That's what they've always done. That's what they've always done. And so I'm saying to you, you have a better path than we did back then. It was more challenging for us because we were being brutalized. We were being stoned. We were being pelted with bricks and everything they possibly could to hurt us as young people. But in this country, I say to you, you need to stand forthright and fight this Labour Party on every turn that you can as young people here of the United Workers' Party. I said to you this evening, you are not alone. The same way I was not alone. We had Sir John, we had Henry Giraudy, we had people to guide us. You have endless individuals within our party who can help guide you along the way. And you must take advantage of it. And I say, I look around and I say to myself, you know, it's been a long time since we've been fighting the St. Lucia Labour Party, you know. And guess what? In those years, we defeated them over and over and over and over again. And I'll tell you, this time, when we defeat them, we will defeat them for the next 15 years or more, because this is what we need. Our government needs continuity. You cannot take United Workers' Party and Alan Shastney and waste his time. If you're going to give him 5 years, forget about it. Because we need to be able to have enough years so that we can continue to develop this country. And that's what we need. And that's what is relevant. And that is what we need together as a people. I want to say to you this evening, fear not. We don't have to be Labour to defeat Labour. But we have to stand to Labour toe to toe and defeat them, which is what the United Workers' Party has always done. So at the end of the day, I'm never going to ask you to go to the route of violence. I'm never going to ask you, because this has never been the route of the United Workers' Party. What we do is stand to them shoulder to shoulder, face to face, and defeat them right there. That's what we need to do. So when the clarion call comes in, and it says that it's time for you to stand up for your party, do exactly that, because you are called to defend the United Workers' Party and to fight body and soul, body and spirit, to be able to remove this nastiness from the face of our country. This evening, I'll say to you one thing. When they ring the bell, and it's coming soon. It will come, because this CIP thing is really bothering these guys. We have them exactly where we wanted them to be. And then one man cannot tell us that when Martinez said that St. Lucia's CIP monies are missing, you tell us you have nothing to do with Martinez. Exactly ula kapalek Martinez there don't know. Behind our backs. So we know very well, and I'm ending by saying, we cannot trust Philip Pierre, we cannot trust the Labour Party, and that is the reason why United Workers' Party must save this country. Thank you very much.